Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've been doing well. Today is the first day of Jump Festa reveals, and my god, you can see it on the screen. They have spoiled us, and by us, I mean me. Listen, One Piece for sure has me in a chokehold. Like, they're gonna get me with every single release. I don't care. I love One Piece enough to do that. Dragon Ball as well, and so far, that's been the case. But we're going to dive deep into all these reveals and talk a little bit about them in depth. And then I'm actually going to go into another channel and show the actual live stream, and we can talk about it. And then, yeah, we'll get to the conclusion. So without further ado, let's talk about freaking East Blue Saga, Luffy and Nami. This by far blew me back when I first saw it like hours ago. I am absolutely in love with these guys. All right, the colors popping like this, the faces, the expressions look so good. I'm happy. Now, I know the big concern with Luffy is that articulation. Listen, I'm hoping that they heard the feedback, that they adjusted somewhere in the knees here. Not necessarily the knees like actual articulation, because it's literally one joint there. I don't know why they don't just upgrade it to double jointed knees, but Tamashii, I hope that they did something here in the actual shorts, whether that's removing a portion of it, making it more wide so he can actually put his leg down in there and have more articulation to do his second gear pose or whatever. Just better articulation in general, and hopefully he doesn't fall apart after a few weeks of you playing with him. But yeah, that's the hope there in the legs. Now, in the upper torso, they've actually done something quite interesting here. So I do think that they really just did the same thing that they've been doing for the Jujutsu Kaisen line, as well as Sanji, which recently released about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. If you don't know, there's actually just a hinge kind of joint underneath Sanji. So really, this bottom portion is just all soft plastic. There is absolutely no like real articulation associated with this piece, and you can kind of make that out here because there's obviously that gap, and I'm assuming it's literally on the hinge. And of course, you can do a 360 inside and whatnot. Now, if they do it right, it can have really, really good range. Now, that depends all about the soft plastic that they used and how much range is inside the actual joint, underneath the clothing. That's really going to be what we have to see. But I do think that that's the route they went with. And honestly, I think that's a better route overall than it being like on a ball peg. Because let's be real, man. It's not always been working out for them. We've been seeing people break their figures pretty easily. But let's talk about Nami now. Nami, man, I have the original Alabasta one, and this, of course, outclasses it like by millions and millions of light years. And I am truly excited to see them take this Nami and make more of her other outfits, because we need more. Just more female characters in general from these lines, and I'm happy to see them start doing it more. However, we need to stop doing single jointed arms for them. Okay, we're getting there. Some characters are getting double jointed arms, and I like that, but I do think it should be a little bit more of the norm at this point. I know for aesthetic purposes, it might look a little better. However, I do think that she deserves all the possible articulation she can get. So if double jointed is better, let's do double jointed. But overall, she looks great. And this next One Piece reveal actually shook me because I wasn't expecting it. So we're getting the Emily Rudd Nami version from the One Piece live action. Now, Arlong and Sanji and her, and I think Buggy, were also on that survey from a few months ago. Honestly speaking, I didn't think that they were gonna make any of them, but I did think that if one was to win, it would have to be Sanji. I've just seen so much like attention on him during the time that the series like was airing for the first week or whatever. There was a lot of attention on that actor and the character, and everybody loved him. But I do know that everybody liked Nami's character as well and the actor portrayal. So I can see why. But faces are not Tamashii's strongest suit. I can see a little bit of Emily Rudd in there. However, it's not a perfect, fit. It's not a perfect recreation, which is fine. I would like to see them continue to improve, which I think they are trying to do. But I'm not going to hold them to the levels that some other companies are, because again, this is not their trademark. I've not really seen them do faces that good consistently. Usually they're pretty garbo. But yeah, I think that this is a cool one. She's probably not going to come with many accessories, probably just the map and the staff or some kind of weapon, I would imagine. But definitely, like I said, I am locked in, so I'm going to get it either way. Now, Toshiro Hitsugaya. This is one I was not expecting. I was not asking for. I do like Hitsugaya, but if I had to pick a character to come out next, it's definitely not him. I would have liked to see Yoruichi, Urahara, or Rukia. Specifically Rukia first, because I need to have her with her brother or Ichigo or somebody, or Renji. You know what I mean? Like, I need it. But it looks like they want to knock the captains out, which is perfectly fine. I said this in the Byakuya review, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what's going on here. The articulation, it works. They're not horribly articulated figures. I'm honestly not ashamed to say that. They are not horribly articulated figures. They pose pretty well, but they're boring in the sense that they have no accessories to accentuate them, make them special, stand out. When you put them all next to each other, it's just, same design. They don't look that far apart differently than, I can tell who it is by the face and the hair, maybe, you know what I mean? And the, body type. But relatively, they all look the same. So if they're going to continue doing this, they've got to find a way to incorporate some unique effects, because Hitsugaya, for example, he's got the kind of ice, I don't know what his Bankai is called, all right, but I've seen him, he's got the ice dragon, his body gets covered in ice, something like that, I don't know, but they got to figure out a way to balance that out a little bit better, because looks alone are not enough, I feel, all the time. It works for a couple of characters, but after a while, it just gets too repetitive. But he does look pretty good, gotta say. No new details on Nezuko yet. However, more details are said to come soon. I assume in January with Tanjiro, because that's when they said Tanjiro's details drop. And potentially, depending on how fast this licensor approval goes through, maybe Giyu's details drop. An interesting thing to note about this Giyu figure, I think, is the fact that they're doing the very early bits of Demon Slayer, right? Usually, they would do the more recent stuff, but I think that they kind of understand that BuzzMod has already kind of beat them to the punch a little bit, and it really doesn't make sense to do the same thing BuzzMod's doing. Not at that level, you know what I mean? BuzzMod's about to do Genya, I forgot his name, Sanemi, I think is how you say it. It's the brothers, and they already have Mitsuri, and they have Muichiro. Like, they're already in that more updated space. You're not going to beat them there, in my opinion. You might as well do stuff that nobody else has done, really. And I think starting from the beginning is a good sentiment. I'd like to see the outfit that Tanjiro wore before he became a full-fledged Demon Slayer, all that kind of stuff, right? That's a good space for Tamashii to start at, especially because they could do a Muzan figure that nobody has done yet, right? Like, they have options. So that's a good thing to note. Also, this figure is going to be decently priced in comparison to BuzzMod, right? You're not going to be spending $100 on a figure. That's the payoff there. The Haori looks good, of course. Potential possibilities of things getting in the way of articulation because it's all hard plastic on there. But we'll have to see. Of course, like when Tanjiro got posed, he looked a little bit better. But when they just have him in vanilla poses, kind of makes him look a little bland. And the face, they could have probably chose a better face to put on here. Like, this is an action in motion battle face. Maybe use one of the faces you have that are more of a stern expression or something. But we'll see more when that happens. Of course, this could take months So I don't know. Hopefully not. But based off the Naruto top 99 stuff, that took a few months, like a while. We have Fuko Izumo. I've never said that before, so I have no idea if I pronounced it right. But this is from Undead Unluck. We got to look at Andy at TNS Tokyo. So we already knew that, 2 characters were coming also, because the Shonen Jump calendar kind of spoiled us. But they look very great next to each other. So I have to say, it's getting me interested to see what the series is all about, because they look like pretty cool action figures, I must say. And I've seen people pointing out this articulation here in the arms with the kind of cuffed up shirt. That's interesting. I've not really seen that before, so I'm very curious to see how that performs in hand, because it's definitely different. But yeah, with that, we're going to get into this whole clip right here, but I'm not going to do it from Instagram because Instagram's weird, bro. So let's move over, and I actually have the clip saved so we can scroll through it like regular people. And, you got to give a huge shout out to Obi, the guy doing all these live streams, translations, and all that stuff. So appreciate the live stream. And he actually gave us a little bit of a good glimpse for another Naruto figure. So stay tuned. We're going to get into that near the end of this clip. But, all right, we're going to skip through a little bit of these and get to the more recently revealed stuff. So, come on. There we go. We have Rurouni Kenshin. I may have butchered that, but that's what I remember his name being. So, he's obviously got the big blocky legs like the Bleach figures, but at the end of the day, it's going to vary person to person on how they feel about this. For the Bleach line specifically, I know a lot of people really aren't feeling it, but I think if you want a cheaper option, this isn't a bad one. BuzzMod is obviously going to be more expensive, but if you like the aesthetic of soft goods, go for it. If you don't and you don't really care, but you like articulation, but you're not really too particular about exposed blocky joints like this, I mean, hey, this is a decent one too. I would imagine he might have like a soft plastic crotch here, so he's not limited with all the hard plastic, but you can't say for sure. But otherwise, I mean, he looks okay. Moving on, you'll see in a second, we've got young Geto and Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen with their phones out, the pockets. But also, we have our additional look here at Toto, and they did update him with a additional hand, I believe, as well as the pendant, which I have not watched the newest season, or arc, I should say, of Jujutsu Kaisen, so I'm not entirely sure what that pendant represents. But I will say this figure is a little bit surprising to me, because I can't say I remember seeing that there was like a whole bunch of shading on him. Like, this could just either be the camera quality or the lights, but he looks like he's got decent amount of shading on him. And I mean, this guy releases in like a week or so. So we'll get to actually see it in hand. But if that's the case, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to ask, why don't we get this type of shading on Dragon Ball figures? Or just in general for most lines. So I don't know. We'll have to see when we get it in hand, but he's looking pretty nice so far. There we go. Mashal. And then we've got Red Eyes, Black Dragon. Still waiting for that duelist announcement, because they know we want that. There's no way that they're going to hold that from us. They have to make these duelists. Not while Kaido is revealing Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's characters and Yu-Gi-Oh! GX characters. Come on now. And making the actual monsters like Tamashii. You know what the people want. No new Hell's Paradise reveals, unfortunately. There's the Undead Unluck stuff. Moving forward, there's Full Power Frieza. I will briefly talk about this guy. Just to touch on a point that Bombastic Plastic brought up in his video earlier today. So there actually is some blue shading going on there. I actually thought he was just going to be like full on white. And maybe it's the lighting a little bit here, but you can see that light blue hue to him a little bit. And that's similar to the fourth form Frieza we currently have that actually just got reissued. So if you need a fourth form Frieza, it's not the best, figure to buy, but it's fourth form Frieza. It's all right. But yeah, I like that because figures that are just all white typically attract dirt. They look worse over time if you don't like keep them in constant care. If you keep them locked away in a display case, yeah, they should be fine. But most people I've seen that have those type of figures, like the original fourth form Frieza with the rock stand, I've seen people's Friezas who do not look that good anymore. They're browning and stuff like that. So that's my take on the whole shading thing. So good point. Definitely go check out Bombastic's video. And yeah, let's keep moving. There's got Nezuko. They're not really showing anything. They could easily. My biggest problem with these events is that they could easily show some of her articulation off. I get that they want to save a little bit of a surprise, but I don't know, when you've got people like already comparing your figures to like Figma and stuff like that, saying, oh, it's trash, I feel like you could at least pose her kicking or something, lift her leg up. I don't know, just show that her legs are articulated. She has decent range of motion, so people are not sitting here like, I don't know, panicking. I see so much panicking. It's just, they could avoid all that. And some of the comments, man, vile comments, it's wild. But we're moving on here. Giyu, like I said, he looks pretty cool, and the cheaper option for me. There's Tanjiro. Kenpachi is looking like a freaking monster with how big he is, especially next to Hitsugaya there. But let's keep moving. I think that's, we can briefly talk about Minato there. No details on him yet, of course. Don't know why they're holding back. Maybe he'll be part of the next pre-order batch, potentially with another character. We'll get to that in a few minutes, but he does have a little bit of big feet there. I'm actually noticing after somebody pointed that out on Instagram. Not sure why, but maybe they're doing it for balancing. I don't know. But he looks really good. I like the colors popping in there, the green, the navy blue, the red. The Rasengan looks pretty cool. I don't know where the 99 part of it is, though, but somewhere on there. But let's keep moving. There's Makima. If you like Makima, bro, we have to talk, because something's wrong with Makima, bro. I don't know. Here we go. It's just the same pose, but I don't know. I feel like they may have made a change somewhere in there with the actual shorts, but we'll reserve judgment and see what they actually do when they give us better pictures, which hopefully isn't a long time from now. But moving forward. All right. So Obi's got a special announcement here, and I'm just going to skip to the end here, but I don't know if you can tell. This definitely has to be Itachi. And I say that because, one, it makes sense because he was number 2, I believe, in the actual final votes. It went Minato, Itachi, I want to say, Sakura, and then I forget who the rest are, but those were the top 3 I remember winning. So, makes sense. And the more important thing here is noticing that soft goods Akatsuki robe. I am actually very, very happy about this. One, you can get so creative with this. Not only do you have the Akatsuki uniform outfit and that design, but now you actually have the character without it. You can have them doing a whole bunch of different stuff, more range of motion that's not sculpted on there. I'm actually very happy about this. And I can't tell if that's like a clip to keep it in place, and if it is, or if it's Velcro or something, even better. And I think that if you do the soft goods robes, I mean, it's much more versatile for other characters already, man. Like, imagine it. Just take the robe off of Itachi, put it on Sasuke already, or put it on freaking Orochimaru. Like, don't even need to go buy another figure for that. That's like the whole like amazing part of this, I feel. But yeah, that is like pretty much it from this whole entire stream. There was a lot of good stuff to cover and a lot to be excited about. Now, there is one more thing that they have not talked about yet, which surprised me. They did not actually talk about, where is it? Yu Yu Hakusho, winning this, not winning, but being the release or reveal here, I should say. I'm stumbling over my words. But yeah, I don't know when that reveal is going to come, but we know that Yu Yu Hakusho is getting an SH Figuarts line. Is it the Netflix versions or is it the anime versions? I think it's going to be the anime versions, but we'll see. yeah, that's pretty much it so far. This is the first day of Jump Festa, so maybe more SH Figuarts reveals come. But there was some other stuff to talk about for like Amazing Yamaguchi reveal tech. I'll make some post about that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the reveals. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for your patience. Catch you in the next one. Peace.